I'm a man, I supported her. How much? Why did you step on my prime minister? Relax. Shut up. What the hell are you doing? What's wrong with you? Why did she do that? Oh my God, women power. How's about some potty power? Silly woman.
What's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back with another video. Give me the HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Let's get right into the video.
I have two comments to make. First, I want to direct this to Miss Skinny Minnie.
Which Miss Skinny Minnie?
Isn't her name Mimi or Skinny Minnie?
Yeah, okay, Mimi.
Well, the skinniest girl up there. Anyways, she made a comment that you have to have a lot of willingness and motivation to be skinny.
I was quoting Dr. Kelly Brownell of Yale. That's what he says.
I don't care who you was quoting. You said it, own it.
I agree with him, absolutely.
Okay, good. But I'm a plus-size model. I am willing and motivated to wake up every day to keep these curves. I don't want to wake up and look like you and be confused and quoting everybody. Why don't you say what you have to say and stand up for what you believe?
Oh, I was just tagging on to, she was talking about the same Yale Center, so.
Okay, but let me ask you a question while you're standing up. Why is it okay for you to call her Skinny Minnie? But it's not okay for her to comment about someone's size that's long.
Exactly.
I don't know her name. Okay, you got me on that, but moving on. No chubbies. No chubbies. No, I got something for no chubbies.
You said it. Own it.
Facts. Look, really interesting because I see this a lot with people that are part of the body positivity movement. It's like they have no problem telling men they have small D energy. They have no problem like yelling at Adele or Lizzo for losing weight. They don't have any problem with telling men that they don't want to date an overweight or obese man, even though they're overweight or obese themselves. To me, it just seems like some people that instead of working hard to get to the body that they want, they just want to change society instead of doing the work themselves, basically. So it just seems like they're trying to shame men into thinking that overweight or obese women are attractive. And just generally speaking, men don't think that overweight or obese women are attractive. And I don't know if they ever will. Now, I always say this, some men will settle down with women that are overweight or obese, but generally those are men that don't have as many options. When you look at men that have options, they don't generally pick women that are overweight or obese.
In this tyrannical patriarchy, of course, who's at the top? Men.
Some men.
White men.
Go talk to her, JP.
Well, that's another
rich,
thing. It's
Anglo-Saxon men.
Well, first of all, it depends on which element of the hierarchy you look at. And second of all, it's not men. Okay? It's a tiny percentage of men.
Thank you.
That's not the same as men. Because most men aren't at the top. In fact, if you look at people who are truly at the bottom, most of them are men. So it's a small proportion of men. And then it's a very arbitrary slice. It's like, okay, so you're saying, well, what are we saying exactly? There's a disproportionate number of white Anglo-Saxon men who are billionaires.
Right.
Could easily be. What does that have to do with men exactly?
Facts.
Why is that a male thing?
Facts.
It's not like all these men are like that. They're not like that. It's a tiny proportion of people who are like that, and they do happen to mostly be men. But that doesn't indicate some fundamental inadequacy in the entire social structure. I mean, 99% of bricklayers are men. Mm-hmm. Is that a problem?
Uh-oh.
Well, nobody ever points it out. Like, all you have to do is go on the U.S. Department of Labor website, and you can look at occupation ranked by gender.
You're right.
There's about 50 occupations that are 95% men and over. You don't ever hear a word about them. Well, why? Because they're dusty, grueling, difficult, trade-related, intensely laborious outside jobs. Mm-hmm. Well, that's why. So, and why aren't we struggling for equality? Gender equality among bricklayers by force, let's say. From here on in, it's by fiat, man. 50% of women, they want to be nurses. No damn way. It's off to the brickworks with you.
It's crazy because even when you look lower than laborious jobs, when you look at homelessness, when you look at the people who are most likely to end themselves, when you look at the people who are abused but have nowhere to go because there aren't enough shelters that cater to them, all of those categories will be related to men. but nobody ever talks about those. Everybody's always talking about the glass ceiling, but nobody ever talks about the glass basement. This level, this kind of floor that we have in society where we won't allow women or children to go lower than that. Now, I believe that that should be a thing. I believe that that should be in place. And I believe that women should have more cushy jobs. But if we're talking about the equality that women say that they want nowadays, well, then that includes you doing equal labor. And nobody ever wants to talk about those jobs.
I want to get paid the same as a man, and I think you understand that. So if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man? And do I get to choose what I do with my body?
She really thinks she did something. Oh, she really thinks she did something. She thinks she said something.
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job.
Featured guest. Could you actually...
That man said you're going to make the same if you do a good as job. Now, look. You can say whatever you want about Trump. The truth of the matter is, it was a lot more entertaining when he was in office than Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden is boring. Only thing I get from him is like the compilations of him skipping up on his words and stuff during the speeches. That's all I get from him. I don't get no entertainment value. I mean, it's a show anyway, right? It's just welcome to the shit show.
Featured guest. Could you actually accurately
I'm a
state-
featured guest at the Deplorable.
I know that you are. You're actually the only woman who's actually featured. Because guess what? It's a bunch of dudes. And I do not appreciate that.
Did you just call me a woman? I'm legally a man.
Uh-oh.
Are you?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Do your viewers realize that?
Yes. I did a whole video on it.
You're legally a man?
I am legally a man.
Do you identify as a cis woman or a cis
I'm a
male
man.
or transgender?
I'm a man.
You're a man?
Yes.
Can I interject?
I'm surprised by that. My apologies. I never would have known that.
Cheers. All right, well, make
Can I
sure to check
interject?
people's
So you-
pronouns first next time. I gotta get
I'm
going.
gonna
But have
Do you,
a
interject.
are people in there
Don't
checking
assume
everyone's
gender.
pronouns?
Absolutely. They're a bunch of great people.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you.
A lot of ugly bow ties. Just my opinion.
Laura Southern.
Got him.
I love you a long time.
I guess that means there are no women on the actual bill.
The definition of feminism across the board is the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to acknowledge your privilege first. If people could hear that about themselves and not be defensive, I think that we could probably push the needle forward a lot faster. As a woman, I'm not sure that I'm concerned whether or not you want to join as a man.
Is that not part of the issue?
But that's segregating that's segregating genders. If you're saying that you don't care about my opinion as a man, that goes against everything the feminist movement goes.
It's really interesting that sometimes they'll say that they don't want you to be a part of that group because in their kind of ideology, they believe that men are the patriarchy and the patriarchy controls everything. So if you know that men are in the positions of power, if you believe that men are in every position of power, then how do you think that any of this is going to change? Unless you don't, if you don't have any men on your team. And to be completely honest, this change only happens if men allow it. And I always say this because it's more true than ever. If every man in America just says we're done with feminism right now, every woman is going to stay in the house. Every woman is going to have to stay in the house. There's not much you could really do to go against that. This stuff is only allowed when men allow it. And I'm not trying to say that in like a power, like hungry way, but it's the honest truth. So when you say that you don't want men, which is half the population, to be a part of your movement, that's very exclusionary. And if your movement is about equality, why are you excluding certain groups? That makes no sense to me.
Power to the women! No more violence against women! Power to the women!
Look, like she's saying your kind is not welcome
against
here.
women!
That's
I
crazy.
support it.
20 years.
No, but I'm all up for that non-violence against women. I'm not violent. Whoa. I'm not violent. No. I'm supporting everything you guys do. It's excellent. Power to the women. No more.
We are all here.
Oh my days. Hey, relax. I'm totally with everything you do. I'm with everything you do.
Violent act. You don't know.
Don't be, you're giving all the feminists a bad name. Relax. Whoa, relax yourself.
He a
Relax.
troll, bro.
You're giving all these people a bad name now. Be the feminist. I'm supporting it. Power to the women. No more violence. Stop shouting at me. Just enjoy the thing. Don't be making it all aggressive. I'm a man. I support it. How much? Why did you step on my primaries? What's wrong with you? Go move back now. Give it up. Don't be so angry. Bloody feminist. Give it up. Give it up. Don't be so aggressive. Exactly. You're so aggressive. Relax.
See, why is that
I'm
not a problem?
supporting this.
Men like
Stop shouting in my face. I'm supporting this. Shut up. Relax. Shut up. What the hell are you doing? What's wrong with you? Why did she do that? Fucking women power. That's ridiculous. Oh my God, women power. How's about some potty power? Silly woman.
Oh no. Wait one second, I gotta do some research on this. I gotta figure this one out. It's a like an alcohol bottle, but in this video it was actually a prop that he used when he hit her. So when she fell and tried to act like she was knocked out, she was faking for the most part because it was just prop glass, which everybody knows is made to break. But the point of the matter is this: why wasn't it a problem when she hit him twice? Right? Nobody really moved a muscle when she was hitting him. But the moment he decided to hit back, which I don't believe was equal force, that wasn't mutual combat. If that was a real bottle, that was a fake bottle, but still. But the moment he hit back, that's when everybody jumps up. Like when you look at that video of that woman that was at the Steelers game, why wasn't anybody saying anything when you seen a 5'5" woman yelling in the face of a man that's 6'1" that could easily destroy her? Right? There's no problem there. And then she hits him, still nobody moves a muscle. If you go back and watch that video, nobody moves a muscle. And then when she even makes a move like he's about to hit her, everybody jumps up and tries to protect her, right? And then that's when her husband jumps in, and then he hits the husband, and then he ends up hitting the woman, which I don't agree with, but still. Like, why wasn't anybody moving when she got in his face? Why wasn't anybody moving when she hit him first? Everybody moves once the man starts hitting the woman, right? But we're supposed to be doing this equality thing. Now, I don't agree that men should hit women, but if we're going to do this whole equality thing, equal rights mean equal lefts.
Wear a ski mask. You brothers can get back in line.
Yeah, you get away from the camera.
So what's your point? Do you have any grievances coming up here?
Of course I have grievances.
So state your grievances, please.
That all men sexually harass women.
So you're saying you're generalizing that all men sexually harass women. What do you define as harassment?
Well, there's a kind of a broad spectrum between.
Kind of, right? You never encountered. Go ahead.
Broad. Shut the fuck up! You want to see the spectrum?
Do you want to have discourse, or do you want to use profanity?
First, there's interrupting me.
Okay, I'll let you speak. Go ahead. Go ahead, speak.
Yeah.
You got the floor.
Oh, really? Have I? Have you stopped interrupting me?
Go ahead.
No. There's a spectrum, and it ranks from interrupting to demeaning to belittling to raping women.
So interrupting, right? So what I just did, that was a form of harassment.
He says,
you gotta get out of here, man. We ain't none of them guys, all right? You ain't about to come up here and cause no spectacle. Call the cops. Call the cops.
Did any of you see him just physically
Call the cops.
She got locked up. Honestly, this is why people are starting to lose respect for people who claim assault. Like, it's getting to the point where people are just making stuff up. And honestly, they're doing it just so they can play victim in any way they want. People are saying if you regretted a sexual experience, that's assault. I've heard people say if a man compliments you, that's assault. If a man looks at you too long, that's an assault. Like, it's sad because it truly takes away from the people who are actually assaulted. So in this case, you have a woman that comes onto a platform, right, where these people are discussing their views. She comes on to discuss her views, and instead of being respectful, she goes on, she starts cursing, she starts using words, and then she tries to play the victim by saying he harassed her or he assaulted her because he interrupted her in a conversation. Do you see how extreme and how slippery this stuff gets if you don't have literal definitions and purposes for why you use words? Do you understand how that, like, people were saying coercion means to convince a woman to have intercourse with you. Well, what do you think you're supposed to do if you're a man? You're supposed to just go up to him and go, hey, I want to sleep with you? Like, that's not how the game works. The game is, generally speaking, innuendo. Nobody wants the encounter to ever become men just going up to women and saying, do you want to sleep with me tonight? And generally speaking, both people in the situation know if they want to do it or not. It's just taboo to talk about it right away. And even if she wants to do it right away, if you just straight up go, oh, can we go and sleep together tonight? That's going to turn her off big time, right? So a lot of people just, it's so weird to see that so many people are using this victim mentality, and it's completely destroying dating. right? And a lot of women are like, why aren't men talking to us? Why aren't men coming up to us anymore? Well, it's because of things like this. Men don't want to deal with it. So when you tell men to respect you, and when you tell men it's assault when they come and talk to you just because you don't find them attractive, when you tell men it's assault when they look at you, they're going to stop doing it. Because us as men, we cater to women and children. That's what we do. I always say this. Men sacrifice for the sake of women and children. So if that's what you say you want as women, that's what we're going to give you. Till next time.
My boo, I'm just here for the rendezvous. And I came the whole damn crew, cause I've been feeling like you want me to. He say stop standing, so I can't hold myself when I pull up.